Hello everyone, I'm Annie, and these are my musings. Welcome to my Doctor Who Power of the Doctor review. At the end, I'm also going to give my thoughts on the Chibnall era as a whole. Note that these are just my thoughts on the episode and the era, and you might feel differently, which is fine. As long as you don't shame me or anyone else for his opinions, you're welcome here. First, I'll give my reaction to different parts of the episode, and then I'll go into the review. I'll end with my thoughts on the era as a whole. So, first of all, the train being attacked by the Cybermen is a really exciting scene, I thought. The cargo being a child, sort of, is a nice callback to the Timeless Children. In this case, the Doctor wants to protect the child, as the Doctor themselves wasn't protected as a child. But the Cybermen managed to get the child anyway, and they say that the Doctor is lying. Dan leaving the TARDIS is a bit sudden, but it does make sense given what happened on the train. He was very close to suffocating and floating in space, like he said. It also shows how the Doctor changed his life, because he now feels ready to go back home, even though his life isn't perfect. So, the TARDIS picks up on the Cybermaster's signal, and it's near Russia in 1916. And the Doctor is confused because there's one planet too many in the solar system. The scene then moves back to Russia in 1916, revealing that the Master is pretending to be Rasputin. He seems to be hypnotizing the Tsar and Tsarina. The scene is very well done, and the Master seems almost sympathetic at the beginning, but then at the end he is back to his usual creepy self. And the Tsar says that he is the Master, and he, the Tsar, will obey him. The Doctor heads to the extra planet and finds that it is made of metal. Yaz guesses that it's cyber technology, but the Doctor isn't sure they're capable of it. They then spot TARDIS, which looks just like the Doctor's. I love how Yaz refuses to get left behind by the Doctor. It really shows how much Yaz cares about the Doctor, but is still willing to stand up for herself. I also love how Yaz takes a much more active role in trying to solve the mystery of what's going on. It really shows how she's grown and changed in her time with the Doctor. Though she always had it in her, the Doctor really brought out her full potential. And that's what any companion would want. One of the Cybermasters shows up, and it tells the Doctor that her master waits, and Yaz wonders what that means. The Cybermaster then gets backed up by other Cybermasters, so the Doctor and Yaz have to flee to the TARDIS. While they're in the middle of that, Kate calls, telling the Doctor that Union needs her help. I really love how this episode is non-stop action, like from the beginning, but it also knows when to slow down. The Doctor reluctantly goes into unit, but still compliments Kate on her new building. The Doctor is then confronted with Ace and Tegan. Yaz tries to help the situation, but when she finds out that Ace and Tegan used to be in her position, she doesn't know what to say. I love Yaz being confronted with the harder aspect of being a companion of the Doctor. Obviously she knows because the Doctor left her behind before, but to actually see people being left behind for a long period of time is a different story. Yaz and the Doctor take the Master into the TARDIS, but to do that, Yaz needs a gun. It's interesting to see Yaz reluctant to take it, as it shows what she's learned from the Doctor. It's also great to see Yaz hold her own with the Master. No matter how much he tries to mess with her mind, she remains strong, and that is a testament to her bravery. Yaz telling the doctor to make time is great. It shows her strength and how she's learned to stand up for herself. It's also nice to see the role reversal of Yaz telling the doctor to be careful, and of Yaz going to rescue the doctor in the TARDIS after the doctor is taken by the Daleks. It really shows how Yaz has become a lot like the doctor, but unlike past companions who have done that, it works out for her, at least to a certain extent. The Master dancing to that song, the Rasputin song, is a classic scene. It's one of the scenes that only Doctor Who could do, and it's so corny, but in the best way. The Doctor calling out for Yaz when she's being forced to regenerate, again, by the Master, is just so nice. Like, poor Doctor, you really feel for her in that scene, but it's nice to see how much she really cares about Yaz. I love the whole Guardians of the Edge idea. It's just a cool concept, and it's a nice way, along with the holograms later on, to bring back past Doctors without taking the focus away from 13. I love how Yaz interacts with Ace. It again shows how much Yaz has learned from the Doctor. Yaz asks Ace how she'd feel about being dropped off under a volcano to stop the Daleks from flooding the world with lava. Ace, of course, agrees. It's nice to see the past Doctors interacting with their companions in the form of the hologram. Ace meeting Graham is cool. It's always good to see different companions interacting. Yes, saying that the Doctor is loved because she taught her friends/companions to never give up is so sweet. I love it. The Doctor is back. Yay! Love the little scene where she thanks Yaz for saving her and Yaz says you're welcome. The Doctor saying sorry for how the Quirks was treated is also a nice callback to the Timeless Children, where unfortunately the Doctor had no one to say sorry. But in this case, the Doctor helped save the Quirks. Hope I said that right. The Doctor is happy to see her extended fam, and it's everything. And the TARDIS scene reminds me a bit of Journey's End, which is another episode I absolutely love. I have loved being with you, Yaz, and I've loved being me. That's such a lovely moment, and the Doctor wanting to spare Yaz the pain of losing her a bit by not having Yaz there when she regenerates is just beautiful. It's bittersweet for sure, but beautiful. In the end, the Doctor got Yaz and Dan home safe, and that is what matters. Graham starting a support group for the companions is everything, and Dan and Yaz being there too is nice. And Anne being one of the first companions and being in this episode is just lovely. I think that's great. Of course she's okay. She's the Doctor. Yes, knowing that the Doctor is okay is also lovely. And now, time for the regeneration. The blossomiest blossom. That's the only sad thing. I want to know what's next. Right then, Doctor, whoever I'm about to be, tag, you're it. That's a nice little regeneration speech. I would have liked it to be a bit longer, but that's my only small complaint. David Tennant is the Doctor again. Boo! No offense to anyone who is excited to see him back, but personally, I feel like it's the show going backward, and it should never do that. Although I do love him and the 10th Doctor, I don't think he should get to play another incarnation of the character. I feel it's unfair and just silly, really. Give someone new a chance. Now, on to my Doctor Who Power of the Doctor review. Finally. I really enjoyed this episode. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. It wasn't perfect, Personally, I would have loved longer Thasmin scenes and more information about why the Master chose 1916 Russia, but it was overall a good episode in my opinion. It was a nice send-off for Jodie's doctor and her companions, and a true love letter to the show as a whole. I am skeptical about the 60th's ability to top this episode as far as that goes. I really like how it's an action-packed episode, but also has its down-to-earth moments. Like when the Doctor and Yaz eat ice cream on top of the TARDIS. Speaking of the Doctor and Yaz, overall, I like the resolution to Thasmin. I would have loved a kiss or another hug or something, but I do think that what we did get was nice. It showed that the Doctor cares about Yaz, and that's all that matters to me. I don't really get those who say Thasmin is queerbaiting. I don't feel like it is, especially since it wasn't planned from the start and was added due to fans wanting it and enjoying Jodie and Mandip's chemistry. The fact that there isn't a kiss, I get complaining about that. But no kisses does not equal queerbait in my opinion. The Doctor clearly loves Yaz, as you can see by the fact that she wants to regenerate alone. She even says it to herself. So it isn't the show trying to get people to watch by promising something and then not delivering. The Doctor shows so many times throughout the episode and throughout the era as a whole how she cares for Yaz. So I don't see the relationship between them as queerbait at all. The fact that it doesn't end with true closure is just the tragedy of all Doctor-companion relationships. As the 10th Doctor once told Rose, she can spend her whole life with the Doctor, but the Doctor can't spend their whole life with her. The same is true for the Doctor and Yaz. Though the Doctor would love to spend forever with Yaz, she simply can't, especially since she regenerates soon after dropping Yaz off. I feel like this episode, this whole era really, deals with themes of grief and loss in a very interesting way. It basically calls back to something that the 13th Doctor said in her first episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. She carries those she lost with her and makes them a part of her. And in the end, I feel like that's what Yaz has to do with the Doctor. She knows the Doctor is alright, but at the same time they can't be together, and there will be grief that comes with that. Yet 13's actual regeneration is filled with hope, just as her whole tenure as the Doctor was. And for that, I'm glad. One thing I love about this show is that it's hopeful, and I'm so glad that the 13th Doctor really leaned into that aspect of the show throughout her entire era. Now, to my thoughts on the Chibnall era as a whole. First of all, these are just my thoughts. You can disagree, that's fine. Just be kind. First of all, I want to thank Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, everyone who worked on seasons 11 to 13 and the specials for the wonderful work. There was a lot of love and care that went into this era, and it definitely showed, at least in my opinion. Secondly, I definitely understand and respect different opinions on this era, but just be kind and don't make those who do enjoy it feel bad, please. I won't allow any of that nonsense in my comment section. Doctor Who is for everyone, and we're all going to experience the show differently. I don't enjoy most of the Moffat era, for example, but I'm not going to act like those who do are somehow idiots who don't know good TV, because I don't want to make others feel bad. So please be kind to the comments, even if you dislike this era. I don't care about that, I just don't want to be made to feel unwelcome in my own comment section, you know? So just be kind. With that said, I absolutely love this era. It's hard to put it into words even, but I'll definitely try. As I mentioned before, the 13th Doctor is a very hopeful, optimistic version of the Doctor, and I feel that's needed, especially now. It's nice to have a show that feels like a giant hug. That's literally how I feel while watching this era, as if the Doctor is hugging me and telling me that everything will be alright, and that's definitely a nice, warm, and fuzzy feeling. I also like how down-to-earth this era is, including the character of the Doctor. She's socially awkward, she's sometimes unsure, but she's no less heroic because of it. That's another thing I love about this era. It shows that anyone can be heroic as long as they're a kind, caring person. I just want to say that I absolutely adore Jodie's Doctor. She's hopeful, kind, caring, smart, deeply loyal to those she cares about. She's basically everything the Doctor should be, in my opinion. Jodie Whittaker, if you're somehow watching this, thank you. Thanks to you and Chris Chibnall, I now have an incarnation of the Doctor I can truly relate to, but also admire. And I'm so grateful for that. The 13th Doctor has regenerated, but she will live on in the hearts of fans who love her. And Jodie's Doctor, the 13th Doctor, is loved by so many, myself included. And she gave me the greatest gift, the ability to have hope even in the darkest times. As she says, darkness never sustains, even though sometimes it feels like it might. I'm seriously considering getting those first 3 words tattooed. It's either that or travel, hopefully. That's how much I love this era. I want a permanent reminder of it on my body. I love this era for so many reasons, but can we just talk about the writing for a second? As someone who enjoys writing myself, Chris Chibnall, thank you. Thank you for daring to change the show forever, but without changing it beyond recognition. Thank you for creating a heroine who is as admirable and brave as she is easy to relate to. Thank you for writing realistic characters. Real people aren't always exciting or impossibly amazing, but we're no less valuable for it. I really like how this era was a slow burn, how season 11 started without any returning villains, without any big overarching plot. Although there were themes of grief and loss and so many other themes, and then season 12, boom, the Master comes back. And the Doctor is the timeless child. Can we talk about the timeless child plot? I, for one, love it. It changes the show, it adds to the canon of the show, but it doesn't change it beyond recognition. In short, it's the perfect change to make. And anyone saying, oh, but it adds incarnation before the first Doctor, who cares? The show's canon has always changed. Regeneration itself was a change. And without it, the show wouldn't have survived as long as it has. For those saying, but it makes the Doctor a godlike figure, please. That is a ridiculous complaint, because the timeless child was just that, a child. The Doctor had no say in what happened. Tecteun exploited them for their regeneration energy and used that to create the Time Lords. I definitely recommend watching Claudia Boleyn's video about the Timeless Children episode for another perspective on it. I'll link the video in the description box. But basically what I'm trying to say is, how is the Doctor a godlike figure for being mistreated and exploited child? I don't understand that at all. A related complaint is that it makes the Doctor a super special chosen one. And no, it doesn't. A chosen one is someone who is destined to save the world. The Doctor doesn't save the world because they were destined for it. The Doctor saves the world because that's who they are as a person. And it always has been. The Timeless Child didn't change that. As for the Doctor being special, yeah, they are. They always have been. The Doctor, along with their companions, is the protagonist of this show. Most protagonists are special in that they're braver, kinder, etc. than the average person in the world they're in. And so is the Doctor. Regeneration isn't what makes the Doctor special. What makes the Doctor special is what they do, who they are on the inside. And that's always been that way. The Timeless Child didn't change that. And that's why it's a good twist. Because, yes, it changes the show, but without changing its core. At its core, Doctor Who is about an alien going around traveling the universe and saving people along the way. And that's still what Doctor Who is about. It's genius, in my opinion. Flux and the specials were also great, though season 12 was hard to top for me. Still, this era ended on a high, in my opinion, and I'm so thankful for that. To conclude, I loved Doctor Who, Power of the Doctor, loved it. I loved the Chibnall era, it was all brilliant. I give the episode a 9 out of 10, and the whole era, well, that's 13. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.